Hi, I'm Lori Allred. Welcome to Inspired by Pinterest, where I browse around Pinterest looking for crafty pins created by people like you and bring them to life. This week, obviously, we're going to be talking about jars. Now, I wanted to start off, a friend of mine, I have some friends that stalk me on Pinterest to see what I'm pinning, maybe try and guess what my next shows are going to be. It's really easy because sometimes all of a sudden I'll be pinning the same type of pins. So all of a sudden, one night I'm pinning all these jar ideas off of Pinterest, and a friend of mine sends me over a pin that just made me giggle and giggle. I don't know if you've been on Pinterest and seen the "Hey Girl" spots that keep popping up. I'm going to show you this one. This one says, "Hey girl, I love the way you made that mason jar into a lamp." And this is the cute Ryan Gosling. They're really funny. They're usually about crafting. And that one made me giggle because she could tell I was going to be doing something with jars because I was pinning all of these great jar ideas. So let's start off by going to my board called Jars. The first thing I want to talk about is a few light fixtures. This is kind of where my interest was sparked on Pinterest, were the light fixtures. And I'm not going to feature any today showing you how to do them. That's going to be a different episode because I'm not very electronically inclined. But I do want to show you a couple that really inspired me. The first one is from senselesssophistication.blogspot.com. She did this adorable pennant light where she actually swapped out the pennant lights in her kitchen with ball mason jars, antique mason jars, and she shows you how she did that, and I thought that was really clever. The second one is this really fun chandelier that's created with a pot rack and a bunch of mason jars from IKEA Hackers. If you've never been to IKEAhackers.net, check it out. It's pretty awesome. They show you how to take some of those IKEA products and turn them into some really awesome home decor ideas. The last one, if you can't hang a mason jar with a light in it, then go ahead and make a lamp out of it. So I thought this was really cute. It's from redberrybarn.blogspot.com. She created this really adorable light. She shows you how she did that on her blog, and that one was worthy of sharing. I do also want to mention a really cute episode that Get a Little Creative did with a guest host, Mandy Gubler from Vintage Revivals, and she actually shows you how to drill through a jar using a really awesome thing. I ran out and bought me one, but I haven't opened it yet. It's this really cool drill bit that goes through glass. And she talks about how she drilled right through a jar to make a lamp out of it. And it's a really great episode. Walks you through. Apparently it's a knockoff from an Apothecary light. It's super cute. And she uses this. This made me really excited that you could drill through glass with this. I'm going to give it a try one time, but I didn't for this episode. So then, of course, the other things that always catch my eyes, you've seen me do some of those Apothecary jars with different candy dishes. But I thought how fun to take mason jars and turn them into something as simple as some really cute candy jars. And look how fun these are. I'll show you. This one's created with the base of a candlestick that I picked up at the dollar store and spray painted the lid and the base to match. That's just a large quart jar. And then this one right here is actually just a wood base I picked up at Hobby Lobby with a napkin ring that I've glued together to make that cute stout base. And then I put one of those cute wood balls on there and spray painted that to match. It's super simple. I actually have one that I already painted. These are just wood pieces I picked up at Hobby Lobby glued together. That's a candlestick. And then the lid. And just a matter of using, of course, my favorite glue, E6000. Be sure to use in a very well ventilated area. Not in your home scrapbook room or office late at night with the windows closed. You'll get a screaming headache or you'll be really happy. So you're just going to want to glue those together. Instant jar, super easy to do, and it'll end up looking something like this when you're done. Super cute. The two Apothecary pins that I thought were really inspiring is this cute one from A Diamond in the Stuff.blogspot.com. She makes these adorable robin egg jars, and that's where I got the ideas to use the candlesticks and the different things. And then another really cute one from oopsadaisyblog.com. These mason jars, she walks you through step by step on how she created them, and they, of course, caught my eye because they were filled with yummy goodness. Let's go on to talking about coloring glass. Now, first of all, I looked up pins on how to tint glass. A lot of them use Mod Podge. A lot of them bake them in the oven. Again, I've mentioned in the past, I like doing crafts that don't require a lot of waiting time. And so I actually referred to a really awesome segment on Studio 5 by our Christine McKay from K. McKay Studios. And she actually found this really brilliant way of tinting glass. It's using Pledge Floor Shine. It's just a polish. and some food coloring. And I've tinted this. It's hard to tell on set here until I put it next to a clear jar. I've also tinted this one right here red. Super simple, doesn't require any baking at all. I will tell you they're not water soluble once you've done that. So you're just going to take food coloring, regular household food coloring, put a little bit of Floor Shine in a cup. Now experiment with the I like it a little darker. So I put about 6 drops of each color in about 1/4 a cup of Floor Shine. I'm going to add a little blue-green because I like that kind of sea glass look. Mix that together. And then we're just going to take our jar and paint right on the jar. Isn't that gorgeous? I just thought this was a super fun way to tint glass. And of course, you don't put it in the dishwasher, but beautiful home decor way to tint that glass for home decor, displays. Christine even added a little glitter in hers, and I thought that was brilliant. So you can see that taking on that beautiful color. Just set aside to dry. Now this is really sticky, very similar to glue, so make sure you use it on a protected surface like I'm using the splat mat here. And we're just going to set that aside to dry. Super easy to do. You don't have to bake it. And so I'm going to skip all those baking tips, but I do want to mention one. Momtastic.com shows a great tutorial on how she tinted glass with the baking method. I don't know if it's water soluble though. And then of course I'll link on my blog, allreddesign.net, to Christine's awesome segment on Studio 5 that shows what she created with that. Next, I wanted to talk about painted jars. Now, I have a couple of really fun pins. So the first one is from apartmenttherapy.com, and they just took any basic jar that they've been saving, had food in, pickles, whatever, and they put paint right inside and swirled it around and let it dry. I also love these faux milk bottles that were from houseofernest.com, and they just squirted white paint in it and set them out. But this is really fun technique that I actually picked up from craftedlove.com, and they actually just take a jar and they hot glue right on it like this one and then spray paint over top of it. So it's really simple. You can get super creative. Now on her blog, she actually created some really fun snowflakes on her jar. And I want to show you her tip, how she did that. Now on my jar here, I've created the word love. Now I will tell you, I experimented with hot glue. It's super tedious to do, and I'm not good at writing with a hot glue gun. So I cheated a little, and I used a pearl pen from Viva. Any type of pearl paints or puff paints I think are easier to control, and so this is what I prefer to use. It doesn't matter what color because you're going to spray paint over top of it. And then I took a word that I printed off my printer, love, and I actually placed that right inside of my jar, and then I used that kind of as my guide while I was using that puff paint. Let it dry and then spray paint it. Super simple, fun way to do that, and I think you could get really creative with some really amazing designs that normally would be hard to freehand. And there is one other pin that I wanted to share from pureandnoble.blogspot.com, where she does a lot of these techniques of hot gluing and then painting over it. And I thought that was a great blog post worthy of sharing. And then of course, this fun technique that I've done in a couple of spots, I didn't want to overlook. This technique here, I actually got this idea from one charming party. Did a show around Valentine's Day on how they just simply put a vinyl piece right over the jar and then spray painted or glittered right over top and then peeled it away. I've also done that here on my etch jar. Now you might think this is etched. Let's talk about 3 different techniques you can do to etch a jar. First of all, I put the vinyl down. I cheated. I used the frosted glass spray paint that you can pick up at most craft stores and just simply put that over it, coated it a couple times, peeled this away, and I think it looks exactly like etched glass. So much easier. If you've ever used the etching cream, it comes in a little bottle like this. You can get them in various sizes. Now, etching isn't that hard to do, but I will tell you it's a little bit tedious and time consuming. You just simply brush it right on the area that you want to etch. Let it sit for a little bit, wash it off. Super easy to do. But let me show you the easiest technique out there. This is this beautiful etched heart right on this jar. Would you believe this is actually etched vinyl? And it comes on a sheet that looks very similar to kind of a funky gray color. It's actually just a coated vinyl to give you that impression that it's glass. A lot of the sign makers use these. When you go past a store that looks like it has etched glass right on their window, it's not, it's vinyl. Just put that right on your jar. Super simple. Our friends over at Brookie Crafts supplied me with this etched vinyl. I was so excited to use it in today's segment because I can tell you I'd much rather use etched vinyl than etching cream. Super easy to use and to create that etched look. So remember, just go to my board on Pinterest called Jars to get more ideas. There's so many more ideas out there that I couldn't feature on today's show. But again, you can go to my board to learn those ideas. Be sure to join me next week when I'm going to talk about some fun ways to recycle containers. Thanks.